safe. I got a good rifle in the house, like a semi-automatic.
The judge is in there.
That's coming from up there now.
You can't see it. Where am I? Oh, there we go.
Too funny.
TRACKERE's playing peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Morning, hee-haw.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
He's still adding people to the room, I think.
How you doing, Henry?
I sent the room to Darcy. The scriptures are so beautiful. The scriptures of John that y'all put up, they're beautiful.
Yes. Good. We're fixing to read them. Thank you, Linda. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was about to text you a little while ago. I ran out of time this morning.
I'm here all day. Nothing.
John 10:14 is, I am the good shepherd, and I know my own, and my own know me. And John 10:27, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. It's John 10:27. And we'll pray. Father, thank you this morning. Thank you for keeping us close. We pray that you always keep us close so that we always recognize your voice in every situation, and that that's what we turn to no matter what we hear or see, that we always turn to you and ask you, Father. We thank you for your protection and your provision. I'll turn my phone on. We thank you for wisdom. We thank you for the things that just the way that you brought us all together, and the things that you have us accomplishing together. Thank you for the assignments that you give us. We love you, and we pray for all those team members that are in need of healing, all those team members for all their needs that they've spoken about and that they haven't even told anyone about. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. We will start with Tracker C, first in the room this morning.
How are y'all doing?
Good. How about you?
Good. Good morning.
I'm doing good. So far. Pretty early though. It's not so hot I can't walk outside and not breathe yet, but it's gonna get there. We're awful quiet down here in this area, and that's a good thing. I want it to stay that way. I hadn't heard any more. I can't seem to find any more out about old Kobe over there. And I haven't drove over in that area yet. I might do that maybe when it cools off a little more. Okay.
Right. Is
and
that the kind of area where you can linger?
Do what now?
Is that the kind of area where you can stop and look around?
Yeah, I'm sure I could drive that on that greenway. I mean, it's like an alley, you know, behind that subdivision, and then they have a hiking trail that goes off some hiking trails that go off that greenway. So I'm sure I can. When I get over there, I'll know for sure. I've looked at it on Google, and I think maybe that you can drive down and park. And I think on Google it's pretty close, showing where he lives too. So I can get within. I think I can get within a couple of 100 feet where he lived. Sorry about that phone. Turned it off. Anyways, I don't have anything else to report here. It's just hot and miserable.
I think I was in a hurry today and I didn't put this on private.
Oh well.
Good morning.
So everybody,
I told that a while ago, but you know,
I didn't. I thought I did till I seen a friend pop in and say hi.
Good morning, Jose.
I didn't say anything about exactly where it was, so there we go.
Yeah, you're right.
Judy, good morning.
Good morning.
Divine intervention.
Well, welcome to the room. Everybody just be mindful that it's an open then meeting, and don't give any identifying information. You know, because it's the full public. Hey, Scarborough.
Anyways,
All right.
I have been bad.
Judy says LOL, my lucky day.
I'm out here.
Okay. Let me see if someone else is coming into the room.
There's Bob.
I thought Bob was in a while ago. He must have got lost signal.
Adding people.
Okay. Let's go to the next.
Okay, well, thank you, Tracker C. And
Yeah,
we'll move on to Tracker L. Team L. Good morning.
Good morning. Not a lot to report. I feel like I'm in Hollywood Squares, you know. I watched that show the other day.
Hey man, did
You
you have
you guys gonna have
yeah,
you're gonna have to set up a game show. Someday we're gonna have a game show and do Hollywood Squares here. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Questions. That'd be fun.
Let's see. Yeah, it's been good and quiet around here. I've been reduced to recording fairies and strange lights. Thanks a lot. I don't have no Bigfoot activity. It's quiet, which I ain't complaining. We love it. We got lots of rabbits. I actually heard a couple crows the other day. Me and Matt was amazed. We're like, look, there's a couple crows come in, and that's abnormal. And since I guess since we're not private, we won't talk about the Bigfoot we got locked up that we're trying to figure out what to do with. We'll skip that topic.
Yeah. Be the only channel I know of would we may joke about that.
Yeah, right.
Only you, Team L.
Yeah. But if we could get our what we can't talk about, we would, what we can't talk about.
Anyway.
Let's see.
So everything's good there, Team L?
What was that?
Everything's good there? You're still harvesting?
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, that's about it. Darcy, your root's in the mail. Matthew went picked you one, and Tina stuck it in a package, so that's in the mail.
Well, thank you
that's
so much.
Wait
You're
a minute.
welcome.
Does that mean we're not going to have an open session? Because we get really deep into some other stuff.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
We'll just play that part by ear.
All right, then. I'm shutting up.
And Bob, just so you know, it's an open meeting today.
Yeah, Bob just got in here, so
we'll get your report in a bit. Well, Team L, if Matt or Tina have nothing to say, are they both good?
Yeah, they're good. They're excellent.
Yep.
Yep, looking good. I'm looking at her.
Okay.
She's here. He's over there. He's been out in the garden this morning, running around picking tobacco leaves. So everybody's happy. What, man?
The plane activity's been crazy.
Oh, you said the plane activity is crazy.
Yeah, for since just last night, I was looking up and there's a plane that come across, a big cargo plane, I guess, had one bright light in the center. And he went by and heard another one come by coming straight this way with its little red dot in the back and red dot in the front, 2 planes bypassing us. And then we had I think it was a jet plane or some type, but it was, or maybe a drone. It came above us and it had orange lights on the 4 corners of the plane, and it had 2 red lights flashing and 1 bright light in the center. I was going to get that phone recording, but it was going too fast above us. But I think it was like a IR light that was shining down. It's what it kind of looked like with the orange lights. It's not purple, but it could be some other FIR equipment, you know. But that's all I saw last night. You know, that just came up last night for me. So.
Yeah. We've had some strange aircraft going over. It's like, is that a jet or is that a helicopter? So I don't know. They've got mixtures of those going around now, because I swear they're starting to come in, and even this morning we had some strange rumbling thing go rolling by in the sky. So I have to say that there is a little air activity of strangeness here, but I have no idea what it's about.
Well, when we were up there, yeah, I mean, it could have been us, but it could have been also the activity that was in that area. So I would pay attention to see if any activity ramps up or anything.
Yeah, I got notified from one of my Facebook friends that the military is doing a lot more hunting, and we're looking at over in Murfreesboro area. And so, and she shared with me, she messaged me this morning, shared me some posts where people were talking, even I think there was a post from even the law enforcement. So I don't know, they're hunting them. There's some weird stuff going on with the military, I think, because like I said, there is some talk going on about them hunting, that they're getting in these groups and they're, trying to dispel this topic, but they're also gathering information to go out and target and, hunt and do that kind of stuff. So that might be going on. I don't know. Like I said, it's all speculation.
But if they want to hunt them, get them out of areas. That's okay with us too.
Yeah, let them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here in our area, we've come across 2 man-made blinds. Where they use the silver tarp, and they left their stuff. And I don't know if someone's, from my YouTube channel or whatever, people have come in here and are, doing whatever they're doing. But we definitely have found signs of people hunting something, and it doesn't look like deer hunting the way they've set these things up. I think they were hunting something more unique. But that's all we got.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, Henry.
Morning. Haven't been out. I did a little bit this morning, and I had bits of muscle spasm. Other than that, everything's been getting better. Just biting at the bit, trying to get the hell out of the house. Also with the plane, generally they have red and green on the tips of the wings. The white lights up in the front end, but that's flying. That shouldn't be on unless they get the wheel well open and the tires hanging out. Unless they're scoping something on the ground with the regular white light. I mean, the radar, you can see pretty much anything that's running around on the ground to begin with. Just what I've seen in the F-14s. they had to train me how to fly them, so I could high power operate them, work on them type of deal. So I had to learn all about that. So the orange lights, I don't know what that is. I have never come across that. But yeah, that's what's up
I've
with me.
seen
Just
some.
trying to move a little bit. That's it.
Yeah, I've watched the one that went up a cargo plane. I think it had one red dot on its belly, and I'm like, that's not normal nighttime aircraft.
Well,
So,
if the
yeah,
belly opens up, if the belly panels open up like to drop bombs, they would have lights there as well. You know, just like red lights, caution lights. But all four corners, I've never seen it. I've just never seen it. Maybe it's a drone. I've just never seen it.
Yeah, we need.
That's all I got.
Good
Yeah,
information,
we'll have
Henry. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try to get Matt to take pictures if he would.
Yeah, there's always something to record at your place. Just keep them running.
At least you got a place. That's all that matters.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Darcy, we'll move on to you. Good morning.
Darcy. Remember, we are live here.
This is live this morning.
Oh, I can't say trespassers will be shot and survivors will be shot again. I can't say that.
No, only if you're in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Or Oklahoma.
I love it.
So anyway, no, we're doing good. You guys saw that picture I posted on Facebook. I took a chance and said, what do y'all think this is? But they're quiet. They're just doing stuff in the trees over there in the creek, bows and bends. And I think I found either a meat hook or a club. I didn't want to go in there and pull it out and see what it was. But they're quiet. I mean, they're not bothering anybody. They're just doing what they do out there in the creek, I guess. I told Tracker C maybe they're more of the spiritual ones I'm dealing with, the ones that kind of morph in between the two worlds, you know.
Translucents.
Yeah, man, they're freaking me out, Charles. But anyway, because I can't see them with my eye. But the picture, the camera catches them really good. So I don't understand how all that works. But everything's doing good. We're doing good here.
Okay, good. Nothing new on the blinds up in the tree?
Well, I didn't go out there and look again after I caught that gargoyle looking thing. I just didn't really care to go look again. Yeah.
I like also that I seen that picture you posted, and I mean I can see it very clearly, but you had good people, good responses on that one.
Yeah, people were, I thought they would say, hey, you're crazy, it's just pareidolia, but they didn't. They were like, oh, it's a chupacabra. Oh, it's a gargoyle.
Yeah, I mean, that face was so, you know, it's hard to tell or give it a name.
Yeah.
Just another predator.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I was
but also,
oh, go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, I was just going to say that they also have 3 fears, and that's that fear of exposure, the fear of starvation, and the fear of losing its prey. So they're going to be off in the distance. They're not going to try to disturb their prey, you know, or give away their position. So they're not going to be trying to, you know, make quick movements or things like that. Everything's going to be stealthy. And even though it seems like they're not doing anything, they're doing their recon. They're studying. They're seeing who comes out at what time and where. So just always be on your toes around them and don't trust them whatsoever.
Oh, I won't. Well, like I said, all of our stray dogs and cats have disappeared. So they're obviously doing something, but they're not eating them down there because I'm not smelling anything dead, you know. And when I walk about once a week, see what's going on, I don't ever see any bones or anything. So, and I don't ever smell anything like death. So they're taking them somewhere else to eat them, is what I'm guessing. Which sounds crazy, but, you know.
They always
do the kids go back there?
Yeah.
Do the kids go back there?
Sometimes they do, H. The
All
ones
right.
that live at, sometimes that some of the ones that live in the neighborhood, they go up in there and play.
Yeah, I was
So-
wondering about that.
But,
And also the homeless.
yeah. And the drug dealers go in there and make drug deals.
Yeah.
Because it's really hidden. It's a really good covered area. So I'm just waiting for something to happen, but it hadn't happened yet. So
Just keep prayer walking it.
yep,
You don't have
that's
to
what
go
I
out there.
do.
You can prayer drive it if you need to.
So I'll prayer walk it, you know, because I don't think I can drive around it with the way it's set up around there. But even the next door where the college is, they have a couple of work release inmates. And we had a lady here this week, and I showed her that little nest because she was parking right in front of it, poor lady. Anyway, she's doing a community service, and I said, just be careful parking over there because that nest looks kind of weird. So she went over and got them, drug them over here to look at it. And they agreed. It looked weird, but there's stuff on their side of the creek everywhere. I mean, there's that one tree that's been pulled through the crotch of that other tree. There's boughs. There's a stack of logs that have been stacked up with all kinds of crap all over it, you know, leaves like another blind, but
Yeah.
just the same old here. I hope everybody's doing good. How's Parkway doing? I've been praying for him.
We will talk about that
Later.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's going to be trying to get on here, and
Hopefully he comes in this morning.
Well, I just wanted him to know if he listens to this later. We all love him, and we're praying for him and rooting for him and his family and all. So.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
All righty. Well, that's all for me.
We've been letting him know that for sure.
Yeah, we talked to the family, and we'll give a report like that if he's not here.
Yeah, I haven't emailed him or anything. I didn't want to bug him. I know he's trying to feel better, so.
Yeah, he's resting, recuperating, get stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move to, thank you, Darcy. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, I'm
Linda
good.
from Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing has been hot. I was without air a couple hours and it was fixed. It wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be worse, but I think it would have gotten a lot worse as the hours went by. But other than that, it's been quiet. I around here, I haven't seen much except the trees in the back. You know, the ones I sent you pictures of a way long time ago. They're still there. They're still maybe. But I haven't seen no red eyes. I haven't seen no eyes. Just I can see them in the trunk. And it's those green ones, those with the big eyes, and but in the park it's still creepy. Oh, and I forgot to send you those ones for the entry. With there's only 2 areas that you go into the area that we were at, and those 2 entries are the only ones that have the fog. There's no other fog anywhere else. And that's strange.
Yep.
But other than that, no one's gone missing or anything.
Oh, good.
Everything's still on track for the mission trip.
Yeah, still prepping, getting ready, trying to get everything in baggies early. Before I know it, it'll be time to get to the airport.
Yeah, that's always a hassle.
The good thing is I'm flying straight into Honduras this time.
That is good.
To Dallas, I stayed over there a few days and then I went on. But today this time I'm going straight on United to Honduras.
Yeah, don't give any more information like that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to take pictures over there too, because I don't know if I told you the time that I viewed them afterwards, and I saw them. I didn't see them then. I didn't know. But when I reviewed the pictures, they're there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be taking pictures, especially when we're in the mountains. So it'll be good.
Good.
I'll try to get one like is it Scott Carpenter? It's got the one with the rear camera. I'm gonna try to get one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get one of them and try to get more pictures.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, wow.
Especially going down all the trails that we go. We go on the mountainsides, take the stuff to all the people that live in the mountain. So yeah, it's a lot of. So we'll see what's in there. They've never reported anything. They have never. I guess they don't bother them, and no one's ever gone missing or anything like that. But when we saw that movie, Son of Freedom, they did say that the children that were actually rescued were from Honduras that were taken to Colombia. So I guess there is sex trafficking everywhere. So just one thing to talk to them about and see what they tell us.
I remember in El Salvador, which is just right next to Honduras, but they also talked about a hairy man that came and took people.
Ooh.
And Nahuazaco is a place. Nahuazaco is that story was told.
Okay, I'm gonna ask them about that. I'm gonna see if they because we meet with the mayors and the pastors and everything, to get everything situated. So I'm gonna ask them if they've ever. But when I go into the mountain, I'm gonna ask them if they've ever seen anything that looks like a man but hairy. And because they know what it is. So and the way you described it, that's the way I'm gonna ask them if they have anything, if they've ever seen anything like it. And I may be surprised and say, yeah, they are here. But we'll see, and I'll let you all know.
Okay, I'll contact a friend also and get that whole story, and I'll send that to you, or we'll give you a call.
Great. That'd be great. That way I can go to the mayor and have some more detail on that. Because I'm sure, they're just neighbors. Belize, all that, they just joined Mexico, Belize, Honduras, it's all the Latin countries. So I'm sure I know Mexico reports they have them, so I'm sure they do too.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jose and Tanya's name of El Patón would mean anything to him there.
Yeah, I remember that one thing, that El Patón. Yeah.
Okay, then Linda, we will move on to thank you very much. And move, who's next? People have rearranged. We'll go to Mary. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. Good morning, Darcy. Good morning, Linda. T-Mel, Charles, Henry.
Good morning.
Hope I didn't leave anyone out.
Good morning.
It gets confusing.
Good morning.
You had an interesting garden picture.
Yes, I was going back to my pictures looking for something else, and I, like we do, I ran across that garden picture, which was taken probably about the first part of June, I would imagine. And I do water my plants, but they were very young plants, and they might have been a foot tall. Now they're 3 or 4 foot tall, but anyway, that picture, I was just trying to see what that was. I don't know if you got any ideas, but I do not water that way. I don't water little plants that high or even the big ones. And I don't know. You got any ideas about what that is?
Oh yeah, we went through that photo, and it's actually a couple of translucent Bigfoot sitting right there. I would say.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, they're right. I mean, when you blow it up, you can see their faces, which way they're looking, their outline. And we looked at that too.
In that big blurry spot.
Yeah, we was looking at how the sun was going, how even if you were spraying, you know, we was looking at all the angles like that, and it just didn't match up. So then we went into, you know, translucent viewing and shadow language, and just went in between all of them, and you could break them up in there. But yeah, they're just sitting right there.
I don't know if I want to water those plants anymore. I have several gardens. They're just full of zinnias, and they're doing so good this year. But I don't know if I want to water at that garden anymore.
I would always take care of that garden. And take a picture before you go out there, you know, trying to catch those blurs or anything like that in your photos, and then just kind of make sure that it's nothing. And
it's your garden.
Yeah, it's your home.
You have authority.
Yeah. They're very, very close to a side gate that I go through like 10 times a day. Yeah. And so they're sitting there on the other side of that big plant there.
Hiding in the sun.
Kind of hiding in the sun.
They hide behind the light.
I've never seen anything like that in any of my other pictures. Are you serious about that being Bigfoots that you saw?
Yeah.
I didn't think there was any of those here anymore. There used to be some several miles south of me in the 60s. But well, that's very interesting. Thank you for looking at that.
Oh yeah.
I knew it was. I knew it wasn't right, but.
Well, we looked at it like, whoa, right there. I hope you're not talking about that big thing right there.
And the walking wolves are just a mutant of. They're just all in the same predator basket. They're all going to look different. So, you know, you have the physical tracks of the walking wolf, so you know stuff's there.
I know that. Yeah, you're right. I know the walking wolf has been here, and maybe it's still here, and I just don't know it. But you know, because I have the physical track of that. Well, that's amazing.
But it's
Thank you for looking.
It's a beautiful yard, and keeping it beautiful.
Well, I love taking care of my yard, but I don't like it in 100 and 103 degree weather.
No.
Yeah, that's you know, things are going along pretty smooth here. I haven't had any problems, and so I don't have very much of a report. I don't want any problems either.
Yeah, right. That's a good report. Quiet is a good report.
Right. Well, thank you,
Mary.
Mary.
Well, then, you're welcome.
Let's see. What does this say? In the middle there? Is that Maureen in the middle?
Yep, me.
Hey.
Good morning.
Okay.
Maureen.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody in YouTube.
Good morning, Maureen.
Yeah, in the private.
Yeah, good morning, Maureen.
I don't really have. I'm sorry. What was that?
A cough. It was just a cough.
I really don't have much to contribute other than I'm getting ready for my trip next week. So whether I'm on or not might be hit or miss. And those that need to hear from me will hear from me before I leave. And that's it.
Okay.
That's a great report too.
Thank you and safe travels.
Wherever you're going, wherever you're going.
Thank you.
Let's see, Darcy, Henry, Tracker C. Everyone got to talk to me there. Okay. Bob, good morning to you.
Yeah.
It's a open meeting today.
I mean, as far as what we mean is we didn't put this on private, so
It's a regular meeting. Just don't say where you live, or you know what I mean.
Right. So
Stay safe.
we're not in open forum yet.
So it's open to YouTube then?
Anybody can see it.
Yeah, anybody can see this today. I didn't get it changed over, so
okay.
So far, the ones that are in here are all people we.
Yeah. Well, I've been away for a few days. I had to go down to Vancouver and look around for a vehicle and all of the crazy deception with used car salesmen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's still used car salesmen who still tried to do
I feel sorry for any
that to
honest used car
people
salesman
in this
because
day and
nobody
age.
trusts them.
Yeah. I mean, they were nice enough, but the guy said there was all this mess up with the paperwork. They didn't have the car in the car lot's name. So then they were chasing around to try and find the other owner. And it's a car for my mom. And, you know, mom's 79 and Vancouver traffic is like driving the Indy 500.
Oh, no.
So they said,
Uh-oh. I think Bob is frozen. Or we are. We're still.
They said that was a cliffhanger, Bob. Can you hear us, Bob?
So they said the goat is
in the
right under the
okay.
It's in Darcy's car in the left wheel well, but don't tell nobody.
Mary's got some in her right front tire too. So
I was going to tell you, Mary, don't be afraid to go out there. Now we're all popping out. That's really weird.
That's really weird. That really is. Well,
So
Darcy,
Henry
now
and Mary and me are here. TRACKERE's back.
Well, I think I'm here.
Tracker C's here.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
We're playing musical chairs up here with the YouTube thing working.
I think we got some fairies running around up there.
Blame TRACKERE. He sent his fairies over here.
Hey, Mary, what are you growing for plants?
Pardon me?
Mary, what are you growing for plants?
He's asking what's in your garden. What are you growing in your garden?
Telling my well, I have cucumbers and I have the plant that zucchini. I have those two things because I use them the most. And otherwise it's just zinnias and I have radishes. I forgot, I have green beans. I have them going up the fence. And
are any of those missing? Are any of those missing?
Yes. But maybe I thought it was strange because there's a lot that's missing. Maybe I know why.
You do know why.
Seriously, I wondered why there was very few of anything there, and maybe it's being taken by somebody else.
That's what came to mind. Yeah.
They're hungry
I
too.
never thought. Well, I never thought about that. I like the zucchinis because I make cake and I make bread with them, and I was going to make some refrigerator pickles with the cucumbers, and I haven't been able to do anything. Now
Jerry and
that's really
Ella are
weird.
back. We lost
I
Bob,
know.
and Mary's just said some of her garden produce has gone missing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I never thought of it. I never thought of the
Henry asked that question. That's a good question, Henry.
Good
that
job,
was a really good question. That makes me think now.
Hey, get your trail cam on that garden.
Yeah.
I need to just. I should. Yes, thank you. That's a good idea.
While we were bumped out, Bob, were you able to give your report yet? You got to they said,
No,
and then we
no,
couldn't
I
hear
didn't.
anything. Okay. Go ahead.
The internet keeps coming and going. I don't know what's going on here today.
Ours too. Ours just messed up too.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I was talking to a guy at the hotel. He was a young guy and 35, and he had his son with him. And he mentioned that he was going to be coming up to my area here where I live. So I just wanted to warn him about what was going on here. And I said, you know, just be careful and keep your eye on your son. And as we start talking, turns out he's had a lot of encounters with what we're talking about here. And he didn't really, he knew a little bit about it. Like, he'd said that he had some weird stuff happen when he was skiing. He told me that he was skiing and he said, I had this pine cone thrown at me. He said, it didn't fall on me. He said it was hucked at me. So I started asking him more questions, and he was telling me about some of the areas that he hikes around in. He's out in Edmonton, Alberta. So he was telling me that he'd seen a lot of like bows and big X's and stuff with trees in the forest. And I just told him, I said, you got to watch out. You're in that area now, you know, you're either in a hunting area or a breeding area. And then I showed him the two pictures that I had on my iPad with me, the one of the road sign and then the teepee structure. And almost instantly he could see the translucence.
Good.
And I just told him, I said, Donnie, you are marked just like I am. I said, whenever you're in an area, within 24 to 48 hours, they're going to come find you and let you know that they know that you're there. So I got his number, and we're going to stay in touch. And I told him, I showed him your book, and I said, you need to learn how to protect yourself. And he told me that he had some kind of dark shadow figure, like at the end of his bed in his bedroom. And so then he told me that he protected himself. He said he was protected by Jesus, and the thing went away.
Good.
And he was telling me another couple stories, like when he was out on a lake with his boat, he said something was bothering him when they were on the shore, and he said, screw it, I just went and slept on the boat. And he said this other couple that was next to them in a canoe, he said they must have been harassed all night long. He said in the morning they just panicked, they loaded up everything, and they were gone.
Happy to make it to daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also when I was driving back and forth into Vancouver, I was looking at the roadsides and on the side of the main Trans-Canada Highway, and I could see like pull downs in the trees there. You know, it's just a lot of brush along the highway, and you know, there'd be chain link fences in the residential areas, and then all this brush on the side of the highway. But I see pull downs and the occasional bow. And you know, Dave Paulides wrote a whole book on Canada, and there's been a lot of disappearance around Vancouver, north of Vancouver and Whistler. Mount Seymour, it's a skiing area. There's been a lot of people disappearing there. And then, of course, Harrison Lake, which is notorious for Sasquatch encounters and disappearances. And then Golden Ears Park, which is just outside of Vancouver a little bit. There's a lot of Sasquatch area there. Yeah. So that's all that happened with me.
Well, we sure do appreciate how you are so willing to get out and talk to people about it.
Yeah.
And we're glad that you met somebody that.
Yeah. Well, when he told me he was.
Appreciate you recommending the book to him too.
Yeah.
It'll help him.
We'll see how interested he is. Maybe even join their tracker meetings. You know, he might.
Yeah.
Because I told him, you know, let's stay in touch. I'll send you pictures of what I got. You send me pictures of what you got. He says, my sister thinks I'm crazy. A lot of my family and friends, they just think I'm crazy. And I said, no, you're not crazy. I said, I've been doing this my whole adult life, and I never realized that these things were, you know, stalking me all the time.
Right.
And I'll try and get a book review written for you by the end of the weekend.
Hey, that's great.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I'm glad the people in this group are able to teach in their areas and help other people. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And to see that in the beginning there was disturbances at some of these homes, but every report, especially today, are quiet, no disturbances, and that's just amazing, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like you said in the previous meeting I was in, that, you know, more people are starting to have these encounters, and there seems to be more people are open to listening. I mean, there's still, like, in some, there's this one Facebook post I saw, it was Sasquatch Chronicles, and you get a few hecklers in there trying to make people that are having legitimate experiences feel like they're crazy and that. And also they have bots in those groups.
At least it's moving. Hello, everybody. Hope we're back.
Yeah, I was just saying that this one post I saw on Facebook, Sasquatch Chronicles, there was a lady in there saying how she'd heard some wood knocks. So I said, you know, those wood knocks are for you. They're not for deer or anything else. And then, of course, they always have some bots in those groups that try to keep the conversation towards, you know, the government's position of, oh, you're nuts and you're making it up and there's no such thing. And then those bots influence the naysayers anyway. So then they all kind of, it's between the naysayers and the bots, they try to keep the conversation as crazy. So there was this lady telling me that she'd heard these whoops and wood knocks, and she mountain bikes. So I told her, you know, just go how you feel. If you feel something's creepy in that area, just back out of it. and that, and she was pretty positive to what I said, and I just ignored the bots. I actually pointed them out, because when you look at them, they're profiles that really don't show anything. They usually have no friends, and they have no button where you can add them as a friend. It's usually just a message button.
You're right.
Yeah, like when this young guy told me about him and his son coming up into this area, I mentioned the 2 guys that have disappeared here, and then I told him about the guy that got eaten, one of the 2, and you know, I just throw it out there now. I've been called crazy my whole life. I don't care, you know.
Well, you're saving lives, even with just whatever you're talking about. You're saving lives.
Even if you told somebody that scoffed and went and told somebody else like it was a big joke, and that second person listened, it's still going to reach the ears it needs to reach. So that's what's so good about you approaching people.
There was a forestry company there at the motel, and I thought he was with them, so I said something about it, and that's how we started talking, because there was this other truck over there with all these hard hats and that, and I said, oh, they're probably doing a brushing contract. I said, I can spot these people right away, because that's what I used to do. You know, I can tell by looking at people like, oh yeah, there's a tree planter there, and that guy's a spacing job or something like that. And I wanted to talk to the forestry crew as well, but I never did. I've been out there a lot and spent all the years out there in forestry, and I feel like I need to warn other forestry workers, like, hey, keep your eyes open. You know, there's something out there that you don't know about.
Yeah.
We got some guys now who are talking to people who work at the old rigs, those platform kind of areas.
Yeah.
And they're getting a lot of things happening around their platforms and stuff, and they're getting nervous. So some of the other guys are helping them there with this same information, try to beat them back, push that brush line back, and to be observant, put some more cams up and things. So
TRACKERE said there was some telephone workers by a tower there with her, and they got chased out by the Bigfoot. She said they used to laugh, but they're not laughing now.
No.
Yeah, they used to laugh at her for talking about, warning about certain things, and now these other people are getting ran out and scared, and so I mean they're not laughing at her anymore.
Yeah, I'm actually lucky that that one Sasquatch in my photo there, he never was translucent, so that allows me to show people that picture of that tree, that teepee stand, and I can zoom in on his face and say, hey, look at that guy right back there in the trees. He's staring right at me, and he's not translucent. You can see his face.
Yeah.
And how close was that to where the going off the road happened?
Oh, that was okay. I think road 151 is about 20 kilometer, and when I went off the road was at about 7. So it's about 13 kilometers, which is probably about 9 miles away.
Thank you for converting that for me.
Yeah.
For this American.
You know what? We used to be on the same system as you until I think it was in the late 70s, they switched it all over.
Okay. Which is good to know both. I'm glad you know it quickly.
Yeah.
Well, we will get Jerry's report, and then we will open the floor.
As far as us, we're getting ready for next week. We're gonna hopefully do some tracking or some light deterrence at another friend's place. Hopefully that's the plan, but we're going to prepare for that for next week. Going out and do some scouting, some tracking. Another tracker, he's a good tracker out there, so we don't see any problems with that. but we'll also do a report on that, or maybe even go live if we run into a couple of things. Tomorrow we have a stream in the evening at 5:30 over dreams, and we're going to talk about what to look for, and just kind of give people a heads up on what dreams are, and some of the traps that we can fall into, and how some of these creatures can use those dreams to feed on us and things like that. So and that's not in the book. We kind of lightly talk about that in the book, but we decided that the things that are not in the book, we want to
flesh them out.
Yeah, make them, have more explanation, more detailed, or we just have to write another book on it. So we're just going to go ahead and whatever was not covered in there, we're going to expand in the streams, so everybody has this information, and if they have the book, then they have all that information. But tomorrow night we're calling it Islands of Knowledge, and it has to do with dreams tomorrow. And the reason we're calling it Islands of Knowledge is like we're in a small town called Findlay, Oklahoma. So if this was the only information that we got, it's nothing compared to the next town, nothing compared to the state level or a college level, nothing compared to a country level or a worldwide level of information. So that's why we're calling it Islands of Knowledge, because some people only get a certain amount of knowledge, and that's all they're allowed to get, but it's not all that they need to have. So we're not trying to make it a new stream, but we're just trying to fill in some of the, not fill in, but add to the information that's in the book, to give people more information. They may not understand it, but if they have the book, they'll understand it completely and where it goes. But that's all that we're working on. We're just getting ready, getting the house ready, and getting ready to do some tracking next week. I think that's all we have for right now, though.
Tracker B is under the weather again. Y'all say some healing prayers for her. We will catch you up on our other tracker privately. And the floor is open. Is someone else?
Yeah, the floor is open.
Well, how's Vault doing? Have you all heard?
Haven't. Just a thumbs up kind of message back, not an actual conversation.
And the interference is back. That is so weird. It sounds like somebody's tuning an FM AM radio.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Not surprising with this channel, though.
Yeah, the way we just played musical chairs with all of our spots on the panel up here was interesting. But anyway, well, I just didn't know if you needed those cell salts or not, Jerry.
He hasn't responded back in an email or a phone.
But we're supposed to have a phone conversation together to go through the healing chart with him.
Okay, well, he's taking so many meds right now, he might want to wait till he's done with what he's doing.
Exactly. Well, we need to tell him what to take to his doctor to ask him about.
Righty. Well, all righty. That's all I had. I wanted to thank TRACKERE for and Matthew and Linda for all taking the time to go look up that poke root for me. If I tried to find it, I might poison myself. I might get something that I couldn't take, and then I'd try it. So I appreciate your knowledge on that. I was thinking, there's a lady called Medicine in the Woods from Canada that does all kinds of natural holistic healing, and her channel's just shot out of the water, just doing great. So I didn't know if you all guys would ever offer anything on that. I'm sure people would be interested with all your knowledge, TRACKERE.
Yeah, we all of that, but
Isn't that interference strange? We can't even hear you, TRACKERE. I rebuke that interference in Jesus' name.
Is that a little better?
That's better.
Yeah. Static still. We had something plugged up to our phone, but still staticky. So.
Well, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Ours kind of sounds like you're crackling or.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quiet here. I think I got the fan. I'll turn the fan off. Is that it?
That was it.
A static fan.
Crazy. It was the fan.
Yeah, it's a little teeny fan.
Well,
it must have been caused. Yeah, there it was.
Well, that also goes with that. That also goes with that quick prayer.
It's back on again. Did you turn the fan back on?
Yeah, turn it back on. Turn it back off. I turned it off again.
And it's still on. It's still on. But at least we can hear you now.
Hey, Tracker C, hit your mic for a second. Sometimes I notice Tracker C sometimes brings in something crackly. So you got quiet when Tracker C hit mic. It sounds like Tracker C's eating crackers. Tracker C, you gotta lay back, you gotta lay out on those crackers. Caught you.
I'm not eating them crackers. What are you talking about?
I'm not eating it. You sure you're not eating them chips over there out of here?
Get a bag of chips.
The only one I saw eating anything was Team L a while ago.
Team L walked it, yeah. I want to tell you, I was going to tell you, we had a power failure out here at Oak Ridge, and it covered a large area around us. Anyway, the power lines fell down, and they don't know why. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. I thought you guys would like that one.
Ooh, yeah.
Dana looked at me and said, "Bigfoot?" And I go, yeah. Well, Bigfoot probably got up there and got a hold of it. Yeah. Ow! Bam! Pulled it down. But yeah, they just said it fell down. The power line fell down. They don't know why. I think it's really funny. Well, it's not funny, but
interesting for sure. Notable.
Yeah, now all the power goes out. There's no lights. These things are everywhere. People come outside. Was the storm in that area, did you say?
No storms. It just fell. They don't say why, but the power line fell. And it's a major power line. It went out. It took down Carnes and Oak Ridge. Yeah. It took down. So, that's what the news said. It fell down, and they don't know how. And I don't really think power lines just fall. But,
we're noticing at one property there's another propane tank that has a tree that's leaning more and more over it. It's being pushed a bit at a time. Just like at the property where they were doing the chemtrailing, about the same distance where that tree was pushed over the propane tank. There's another one starting in another property. Yeah. So they don't always do it overnight.
That's all I had. There's one thing on my notes.
Rosé,
Tracker C got to go mic quiet.
Has anyone heard any more about Jim over there on Lives and Pictures, keeping it real?
No, but we're going to text him today and see if we can check on him.
Be nice to know.
Yeah, for sure. We were thinking too.
Well, he's probably sobered up on some of them adventures.
I bet he starts carrying him. I bet he starts carrying him a damn gun from now on.
Yeah.
Maybe not. If he doesn't, from everything he's done in the past, he may not. I think he's seen such overwhelming ones, he doesn't even think it's worth it. But he was also able to take many down. Anyone else? Okay, we'll get ready to close the meeting. To the ones that are in here, oh yeah, Henry says it kicked him out. Good morning to everyone, and we're glad you're here, and we'll have a live stream tomorrow at 5:30 Central Time. And that will be open to everyone. So we'll go ahead and pray out of here, and hopefully y'all can hear me with that interference.
I got some more stuff to say if you want to talk for a few minutes.
Go right ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I noticed as soon as I got back into this area, I started having dreams, like negative dreams. I didn't have that when I was down in Vancouver. So I don't know. Maybe these things are just waiting for me. I know I'm back in the area. Started attacking me in the dreams. You know, nothing really bad like a couple weeks ago, but just kind of mildly negative stuff. And I was just before I went to sleep last night, I was watching your one episode you had there on water spirits. And like Jerry, you were saying like you always get into dreams and you want to do battle and everything. And I've noticed like whenever there's some kind of negative interaction in a dream, I've started to notice after those are over that it was something that made me emotionally expend energy in the dream. That's what they're after, you know, get you engaged into some kind of conflict, or you're fighting something, or you're up against some kind of resistance, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Energy.
Yeah. And there's a guy that owns a chainsaw shop here, and then he does all the work on everybody's forestry equipment. And I know him pretty good. I've done some tile work at him and his dad's house years ago, and I think I'm going to take my iPad in there one day and just ask him, you know, if he's still hunting. Because I remember years ago when I was at his place, I came out at night and there was a skinned cougar carcass outside his door, and there was no head or feet on it, but I could tell by the shape of the body what it was. And I'm just going to ask Kelly, are you still hunting? And I want to show him that picture of the Bigfoot back in the back of that teepee structure there staring. And I'm just going to say to him, look at this. What do you think that is? You know, just to see how he reacts. You know?
Yeah. And ask him about that time.
Yeah. Like he's married, like at the time he was just had a girlfriend, and now he's married with a couple kids. So I'm just gonna kind of probe the fences to see where he is, you know.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That's what I always do with people. I just start a conversation and just kind of pick their brain a little bit, see where they're at, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just so happy to have someone to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, that young guy the other day, he was like, he told me, he said, I used to be really negative and wouldn't want to talk to anybody. And he said, now I'm just meeting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and told I guess his son was probably 10 or 11. And he told his son about it, that he was talking to me outside. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they won't even bring up the Bigfoot or talk about it, but once they feel a little safety or secure with you, they start talking about stories or this happened and that happened.
I've noticed that a lot of people that talk about how the Bigfoot are just good, or they're pro Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That they don't have a knowledge of the ones that are aggressive. They don't, or that they're all going to be aggressive, but they just don't like to hear anything. And so they're not open to people talking. They come across with that skepticism. They're not going to hear those stories. People aren't going to share those stories with them because they're nailed immediately with smirks and,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, there's
so
all
they
the
come up
people.
with stories, but it's really their own fault.
Well, the stupid TV programs have,
Absolutely.
peddled this thing as it's something that we don't need to worry about. And you got fools like Todd standing out there doing Sasquatch tourism and come out with me and spend $3,500 US and you can hear some wood knocks and gift some apples on a stump or something. Just totally stupid. And
dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. And that's what I told Donnie too. I said, yeah, I don't think he knew about Todd Standing. And I mentioned it and I told him about he could watch his documentary on Netflix or YouTube. And I said, Todd is putting people in a dangerous situation by peddling this stuff. And, like as you start talking to people, like you said, people will start to kind of relax a bit and tell you their stories. That shows that a lot of people have had weird stuff happen.
Oh yeah.
But they're too afraid to bring it up because they'll think that, oh, you'll think they're crazy.
Yeah. And that's when pictures that they won't share with other people come out too, things like that.
Yeah.
Or they'll introduce you to the friend that won't talk to anyone else.
Yeah. Like I
that's
took
a good
some
thing, though. Somebody they can talk to about it, that's a good thing though.
Yeah, that's therapy. That's the only therapy some people will ever get. The helpful therapy that some people will ever get.
Like I took some notes from talking to that guy. And one of the things he told me was, he said, down in Cranbrook, which is in southeast British Columbia, his uncle lives down there, and he said there's something going on down there. There's all this fencing going up in the woods, and the military's there, and they won't let anybody around in that area. So I don't know what's going on there, if it has anything to do with Sasquatch, or maybe they're again building some kind of containment camp for all of us, Yeah.
Or a combination of it all.
Yeah. I think it was, you guys were saying in your book that, these dog men, most of them are probably radio collared, and definitely the military, they've always wanted to have some kind of super soldier. And these freaks at DARPA and the Pentagon, that's probably a program they got going. They've tried to come up with
I think back even when Charlie Sheen, remember when he was having one of the meltdowns and talking about he had was it the blood of a tiger and he was naming different animals. And I remember thinking back then, he's probably telling the truth and nobody is taking him serious, with all their DNA manipulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the U.S. military, their new Hessian soldiers will be dogmen or something like that, And they don't have to pay them nothing other than maybe some food and let them eat some people or something or whatever. Who knows what other sort of demonic agreements they've come up with,
Right. And this is why we have to prepare on both fronts.
Yeah.
We have noticed that there's been a lower sighting, lower in the areas that we've been in. Those areas have been, the Bigfoot either have moved on or calmed down, but all the places we've been, they've been reporting it's the lower activity, but we haven't heard too many more stories of active areas really in Oklahoma, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So
right now.
So we have to really pay attention to why that's not happened or the decrease happened. but we know they're still around, but it's just maybe too many people right now are spotting them. Too many agencies are showing up around here. But that's something also to watch out for.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a guy from my monthly.
Did you freeze or are you pausing?
He froze.
He froze.
Bob,
I'm
you're
going to start
frozen.
singing the Frozen
Well, I'm not
song.
eating crackers.
Yeah, it's too hot to be freezing.
He goes to these crackers again.
I'm going to
You
go
sound
grab a
good
cup
now,
of coffee.
Tracker C. I don't know what was up with that.
I don't hear you.
I think they mess with our different
No, we're
mics.
back.
I think it's Team Mel's Fairies up there, man.
Oh,
I
Bob's
see Bob's
back.
face moving.
Yeah.
And I said that here we go again.
You was froze, Bob.
Yeah, I know everybody kind of disappeared there for a minute. So yeah, this guy that I know, he tells me he knows the chief at the Chuchua First Nation area. So I said to him, you need to introduce me to him sometime.
Yeah.
So I'll try and get in there, and then I'll start doing some research into the other bands where you know that lady.
Oh yeah.
See if I can find out who she is.
Canna Loops. Her name's Karen White.
Karen White. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And she'll be around. I would say she's a teacher, but I'd also look for around the culture area.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any information on there's a guy now that they're saying he's freaked out on the plane? If that was a joke or a hoax or a real story? Anybody heard that yet?
I watched somebody talk about that, and they said that, possibly it could have been a synthetic, like an AI sort of thing. And he did make a good point. He said if they were going to introduce robots into our culture, they would just do it, and they would see if we would notice the difference. So you never know that maybe. I mean, I did see some guy that said, "Oh yeah, that was me," and she was just freaking out. She was asking me about masonry and everything. But there.
Oh, I didn't see that. So that's something different.
Yeah.
I had wrote a couple texts from her saying that she went on a cruise directly after that, and that's really where she was heading with the flight to meet up with the cruise, and that's why nobody could find her. It wasn't that she had disappeared, but that she says they're reptilian and they're real. And then, but the story I was asking about just now, because I don't know the guy you're talking about, but it's another man that freaked out on seeing another creature on the plane. Different plane, different man.
No, I haven't seen anything about that one.
They said that he was having like PTSD. I guess he was in the service, from what I remember. But he looked just as freaked out as that lady. And it's one thing, you cannot hide your face. And, I don't care how good an actor you are.
Right.
At all Tom Cruise, so so her eyes, the lady, her eyes were just like she was really, really scared. And the same thing with this guy, but he was a little bit more, I guess, anxious, or really, he was a little more, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, he was believable also. It didn't look like he was faking.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
They wanted to take him down and, sit him down and, his buddies, because he had some friends with it. Or I guess they were his friends. But nothing else after that I heard.
Okay. It was
Well,
one of
I've
them that
been
rolled up
waiting.
real quick and then I couldn't find it again.
I've
Henry
been
said he had to
waiting.
lay down. His back's been freaking out. Sorry about that, Henry.
What'd you say, Mary?
Oh, I've been waiting for at least 30 years for them to decide to bring out the hearings on the UFOs. They don't call them UFOs. They call them something else. But
yeah,
that's what it is. And I think that it was planned at the right time when things were starting to get heated up, that they would bring out those hearings. I don't know if anyone else has watched them. I watched a little bit, and they don't call it UFO. They call it something similar.
Yeah, they call it
They call them
UAP.
exactly unidentified aerial
Phenomenon.
phenomena.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I've waited for 30 years or more for them to decide when it was time to bring that out and kind of change the subjects on some of this other stuff that was starting to heat up. So I guess they decided it was time.
Yeah. We were just talking about that
You know.
yesterday.
Oh.
Well, Mary, you do know what the objective is with all this.
I think it changed the subject, but I don't really know.
Well, what they want to do, the military-industrial complex has no more enemies. They want to have a universal enemy that is going to continue forever. You know, they've used all kinds of things. It was the nasty Russians, and then it was the Taliban and terrorism, and now this global threat of alien invasion will give them global dominance for the world system they're trying to create.
The thing is, we do have one giant enemy in common, and it's the enemy. It's Satan. It's Lucifer. It's the evil.
The cosmic spider.
But they're giving it a false name.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're not calling it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You actually do.
Well, they want us to have a what you're saying is true. They want us to have a seen enemy.
Yeah.
And that's why they're bringing that. Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, these UAPs are seen enemies for us to get all shook up about now, since we don't have anything else.
There's a Reagan quote about that in there, about the common enemy.
Yeah, when Reagan was at the United Nations, he said, you know, how quickly our differences would just evaporate if we had an enemy from outside the planet.
Right. That's right.
Another thing I'd like to say is that Dr. J. Allen Hynek, that ran Project Blue Book for the Air Force, he was so disgusted by it by the time he was done that he started his own organization that is still in existence to this day. And J. Allen Hynek understood where all of this phenomenon was coming from when he read Rudolf Steiner's work on anthroposophy. Because what Steiner is writing about in his books is what he calls he calls it the eighth sphere. And the eighth sphere is kind of like a smog that the earth is trapped in, and it's all of the things and negative things that has happened on this planet through different epochs of time. And Steiner said that this stuff is coming from other times, like the whole situation with Atlantis is it's in the collective memory of the planet, and these things were coming from all of that, you know, like and you know, Steiner was somebody that the secret societies wanted to eliminate, and they successfully poisoned him in 1925, and they celebrated killing him. And the Nazi Party was trying to get Steiner as well. He's got some interesting stuff. I haven't read a lot of it. I know some stuff about him. But it was interesting that I'd heard that when J. Allen Hynek read Steiner's book on anthroposophy, the whole UFO thing made sense for him. You know, and then his assistant at the time is Jacques Vallée, who's written some good books. Like Jacques Vallée's book, the title of it is Passport to Magonia. And he talks about all of these different weird creatures, you know, giants and little people and portals and everything. And like in the first part of that book, he describes some children, I think they were in Ireland, that it seemed like they came through from a different world through a portal, and they had green skin or something like that. And then he also mentions in that book, you know, if you do go through a portal, you aren't coming back. You have to continue on into that other world. And it's almost like the stories that were told to us with Alice in Wonderland are real. You know, like if you were to pass through a portal, and I'm sure Jerry, you and Ella know this, that if you're in the woods and you notice that everything has gone quiet and you hear no more animals, you likely could have walked through one of these things, and you need to immediately turn around and head back the way you came.
And hope that you remember the way that you came and you're not disoriented already by that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I'm excited about is especially with the little short TikTok videos, at least they're leading people to from great grandchildren all the way up to the, you know, the great grandparents are all researching the same things. And that's pretty exciting. There's a commonality among them, and it's about finding the truth. People are digging big time. And their own weapons been turned back against them because they can't keep up with the flow of information anymore. It's moving too fast. Things that we were talking about, trying to warn people about in the 80s they're on TikTok now, like it's fresh information, but that's good because they're whole new generations exposing, and they're fearless, you know.
We have been in areas, especially with night observations, to where we were in the same areas, and you know, the crickets all started later and everything, and so we didn't move, but we still had the silence, or we call it the Bigfoot symphony, where it just stopped all at once. But, I mean, it's not always with the portals or walking into them, but and anything past the portal is a predator. Everything in those openings, they're just predators. As far as history goes, Earth is the last stronghold, I guess you would say.
But that dead sound, that sound of quiet, and that pressure at that time, it always means there's a predator either through something or around there, or it always means predator. It might mean all the mimicking predators got silent at the same time.
And to normal people, that's whenever they get fearful, but to warriors, that's when we get ready. That's one of our our signs. You know, get ready, get your weapons out. But always be ready.
Yeah.
I got a couple things on your topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the keep this in the back of your mind. Most of the U.S. military sightings come from the ocean. They're not coming from space. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's one you probably won't hear a lot about. But most of the sightings are coming out of the ocean. And you know, one thing I do, like for example, we've done forever, is like on the something that a lot of people don't think about, but you should probably do this. Is like on the YouTube, we have our history turned off. We don't follow suggestions. On Google, turned off trending. You should never follow people's suggestions, especially the AI. Especially if you turn on the TV, you watch the TV. That's to tell you what not to be watching, because that's their whole point of the TV is to, you know, that's a mass programming, you know, right? And so, you know, I turn on the TV and I know where they're going, and I go totally opposite direction. You should always follow. It's your intentions, right? And like I said, YouTube, we turn off our history, which means I have to remember everything I've seen. I don't get, you know, when you turn off the history, it's like the machine turns against you. It doesn't want to help you no more, because you're not allowing it to follow you and to research you and to suggest to you and to give you trending and to lead you, right? So, and that's the thing about being intentional in your life, is even when you go to the internet, you should know what you're going to go get. If you're going to the internet just browsing, you know, you can, and if you've got your history, if you're running your history, they're studying you, and so they're going to be, you know, trying to tweak you in the direction that they want to go in. But anyway, that's just something, you know, I'm always on to Matthew about being intentional. You know, don't take actions, don't move your hand or your mouth unless you have the intention of why you're doing it. And you know, that's the same thing as going to the internet. I mean, you could destroy yourself if you're not careful, because that's, you know, so many people have gotten into the point they just follow. They don't even have a mind in their own. They wait for the internet. They wait for Google, YouTube to suggest the next video. They wait for, you know, they live their lives, you know, they're being hijacked, totally hijacked. It's a slow process, but over time you're totally hijacked if you're not, you know, like I said, you go to Google now, you type in a word, they got trending, you know, and I have to go turn that off. I said, don't give me no trends and don't give me no suggestions, because I don't appreciate that. You know, I'm created in the image of God, and I've got imagination, and I got my free will, and I don't appreciate.
And they can't even leave it at, like, if you reject an ad or a post, why? I don't have to tell you why. I just don't want it.
Yeah, right. Right.
And now even all the suggested comments, you just hit your little keyboard to type something, and it tells you exactly what to say. It's just, it's so ridiculous.
It is.
We don't have our history on either.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that, you know, a lot of people, you know, if you don't stay in your intentions, then you become a follower of suggestions, and you know, it's very important, because I mean, that's you, and a lot of people will get caught up in following. And I agree with Bob. The UFO thing, that's kind of like, you know, that is definitely political distraction, and just, you know, it's I don't know what else you want to say about it. I don't follow it because it's being pumped into Twitter, and it's being pumped into Facebook, and I see this coming in, and I won't watch it because that's what they're doing. And I'm like, I don't know what their agenda is, but they're not getting me in on this thing. I won't even follow you. If you're going to be pumping all this stuff at me that I didn't ask for, I didn't ask for it, and I don't want it, you know. But I'm a pretty damn stubborn person. You know, I stay in my walk, and I stay tight to the one.
I think I heard some backup there from Tina.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I'm a hard head because it's my head. You know, I don't let people put stuff in my head lightly.
You know what, TRACKERE, there's there's a real value in cantankerous old men.
Yeah, right. Because they got there somehow, didn't they?
Yeah, they got a value in society, especially today. They're the ones that hold the line and say, "Hey, hold on a minute, this is craziness."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always heard it was cantankerous old women, but I guess it's both.
Either or now.
Any warrior, any fighter.
I'd say anybody in this group.
Yeah. And that's one thing we love about these team members is we know each one of you is going to go research on your own and dig deeper and find more things and take it back to the Bible. And that's exactly what you're saying, TRACKERE. There was a video by a whistleblower from NASA the other day, but I would like to find more about it. He was saying that these things that they're calling aliens, he said, are demons and we don't need to be messing with them. I don't know if any of y'all saw that one or not. And then
yep, I agree.
I'm friends with someone who worked on one of the offshore oil rigs, and it was not uncommon for them to see the UFOs going into the water, like, you know, the whole cruise could see them going under the ocean.
Yeah, that's been the most reported. The military, the biggest sightings that the most reported, and I think it's like 90%, is coming out of the ocean. Yeah. So they have, you know, they've moved onto this planet. So I wouldn't be looking up into space. A lot of people believe, you know, oh, they're coming to help us from space. I'm like, geez, these things have been here forever, and they're down there. You know, I believe there's societies underneath us that are way bigger. We're just kind of like, we're like free range chickens. The people on top.
That's what
Jesus came to help us. You know, Yeshua came to help us. God's always here to help us. And guardian angels, we have to release verbally to help us. That's it. Nobody else is coming to help us.
Yeah, I mean, the human is God's weapon against these things. We are the ones that will beat them.
Yeah, you're right.
And you know, people don't know where we are. They really don't know what this world is and what our place in it is. A lot of them, you know, like try to make this weird cosmology that we're in understandable to everyone, where, you know, fairies are real and little people and Sasquatch, and people would just flip over in their minds if they couldn't go to 7-Eleven and get a hot dog and watch the game, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people flipping over.
I don't understand how anyone ever gets bored. That is just beyond me, that concept of getting bored. I'm like, have you lost? What do you mean bored? There's so much to learn.
Well, they have a low mental frequency, you know?
Yeah. And the attention span has gotten shorter by design.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the GPS says go straight and there's a pond in front,
they drive right into it.
Drove right into it.
He's had somebody do that. They just listened when he said,
turn here.
Yeah.
It means, you know, they meant get to the intersection.
Yeah, not turn here. You know.
Well, you know, when I was driving down to Vancouver, I was saying to my mom, you know, all my years in university, I couldn't get indoctrinated into that system because I just have had so many strange things happen to me in my life, like that there was no answers for it. That system and those professors and all that, they had no answers for any of the stuff that I encountered. You know, when you're hundreds of miles out in the bush and some strange paranormal stuff happens to you, like, how do you explain that?
And, you know, we got teachers and universities and scientists who can't explain any of that.
No.
But they're also teaching our young ones, you know, what is real and what is not real.
Yeah.
But all the evidence, all the sightings, they don't tell the truth. They don't warn the people You know, these things are out there. They want you to worry about a rocket or, you know, some kind of ship or something instead of these things that are real in the backyards. Yeah, right here, right now.
Yeah.
So dangerous teachers out there who are not finding the truth.
And they believe themselves.
Yeah.
Like, because they've been trained wrong too. There's a lot of preachers, and it's just unbelievable to me, preachers and priests that don't believe that the devil is an actual entity, an actual personality. That's just mind-boggling to me, but they're coming out of cemetery learning that. So,
Have you ever seen the movie The Fallen with Denzel Washington?
yes, very good movie. And there's a video too, a real video that works just like that. Two guys crossing each other. I think it's in an airport. It's an aerial camera, and you can see the demon move from the one man into the other. You can see both body reactions. They have nothing to do with each other. It's just like that. And then I think I shared a video this morning again too of someone fell in a street. Another man went to go help them up, but the demon inside of the man that had fallen like pushed back against the man that came to help. T-Mail's seen it. And then you can just see it. It like crawls back into the body, and it's just, there'll be more and more. The cameras are catching up with what our eyes can't, what our spiritual eyes are seeing. The cameras are catching up with, but our physical eyes.
Do you know anything about this Azazel at all?
The
demon in that movie, The Fallen, it was named as Azazel.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
In Book of Enoch, you'll learn.
Yeah,
more.
I think it's in Enoch also.
Oh, yeah.
I've got the notebook somewhere with a whole list of them that I'm still working on, but I can't just recall like you can, Bob. With
but it is a demon, pretty much. And, it's a hierarchy demon. It's not one of those small ones. Yeah, it's not
principalities.
Yeah, part of the principalities.
But
you know, I got a friend in town here, and she was telling me that her pastor, he went and got a couple of shots, and he's been sick, and his mother died after she got the jab, and I just said to her, where are these people? Like, why are they so blind? I have never spent my life in church, but these people in the church, they just walked right into it. You know,
they follow the suggestions. They follow the TV. You know? They've left.
They people they trust.
Well, if you think about it, if you don't believe in God, then obviously you're going to follow man.
Yeah.
They want to bring the population on. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mary.
We need to have a flag up or something so we know when we don't run over each other. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Go ahead.
They say our population, the world population, is 8 billion. That's what they say. I heard that yesterday. And they want to bring it down to 2 billion. And these shots that they was wanting and still want us all to get will help bring the population down to the 2 billion. And some of the I'm trying to think now of the man whose father was the head of the abortion. I'm trying to think what his name is. Anyway, these people that are doing this stuff right now, it runs in their family. Wanting to kill humanity. It seems to be passed down from father to son. Bill Gates, his father was the head of a
Planned
society.
Yeah, Planned
Yes,
Parenthood.
at Planned Parenthood. Yes,
Yeah.
his father was the head of that, and Bill Gates is following in his footsteps. And the same goes with the little Fauci.
Yeah.
His father was also deep in this population control, and it seems to have fallen in on his son. And so any that's what's kind of going on here.
Hey, Mary, on the
Yeah.
population control, if you want to see the root of that, the root of population control is dark. I believe in that. Hitler did it too. Hitler practiced the same thing.
Yeah.
If you believe that the strongest should survive, if you believe, see, it's all those are that's the predator on this planet, is those people that believe in evolution and not in God.
Right. Yes, that's I sure do believe that.
God tells us to be fruitful, and we trust each other as humans. Yeah. So that's the whole root of that whole thing, is all those people are demonic. They don't believe in God, and therefore they believe in strongest survive. Hitler did it. Remember all that in World War II? It was all the people that they all the genocide. That's what they do. A lot of genocide. That's what they're doing now. More genocide. And like I said, that's not a godly view. That's an evolutionist. And evolution, all the evolution crap has been proven as crap, but it's still mainstream TV. It's still mainstream. We need to control population. It's still, man science, So that's the root. If you always you know the root. That way you'll always go, call them again. Same old liars.
Exactly. And I also I read that Hitler was a baron. Now I never would have believed that. It was just recently I read it that he was a baron, and they're connected to royalty, and I've been reading a lot about the royalty business too. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. I don't know too much.
All of this going on is a battle between secret societies.
Yeah, it goes way back further, all the way to the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, the root is the gods.
Georgia Guidestones had 500 million. Y'all know the Georgia Guidestones? I think probably everyone on here does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
500 million was the number of people that they want to populate. That's a good slave number.
Well, that's what they figured. They don't need all of us. They just want 500 million. And of those 500 million, probably about half of them were going to be Asians, because the Asian cultures are easily controlled, because that's been their societal structure for a long time, with the pecking order, where you got the emperor and then everybody else under them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
hey, Mary,
in America, we saw how quickly everyone buckled to they were just told, it's bad for your health. Oh, okay. Or, all right, I'll let you put this foreign thing in my body so I can be a good citizen and virtue signal. And, and a lot of people didn't know, but now that everybody does know, admit you didn't know, and let's keep moving.
Yeah, the history books started really getting censored after 1902. So the books prior to 1902, that's usually your good information. Even the encyclopedias up to 1902 are good.
Mm-hmm. And the old family Bibles have entire books gone, from more current ones. If anybody has some of those old ones, look in them. Look at the old maps, completely changed.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at the moon last night, and I told Tina, I said, that ain't no reflection. I said, if that was a reflection, that whole thing would have to be made out of some kind of like reflector material. You know, to me, I'm looking at the moon. I'm like, that's a portal. We're looking out. That's light outside coming in. But like you said, you know, the stuff like that, they've got like a hologram picture or something on it, as far as I could tell. But that's not a. The moon is not a reflector. That thing is bright. But anyway, just a crazy observation. You look at it, you go, this ain't true.
We're living in a Truman Show.
Yeah, we're in the Truman Show.
Yeah, they've made everybody crazy with these stupid narratives they have, like we didn't go to the moon and the Earth is flat. You know, both of those.
I tweeted that the other day. The Musk. I said, Musk, how come you ain't been back to the moon? What's up with that?
If you could do it with paper mache and aluminum foil, you should be able to do it by now. I mean,
right.
With the technology now.
Well, but you know, back then when they did the moonshot, they already had a camera there to shoot the first guy on the moon. So that's very impressive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also impressed when you go to space, you can't see stars. I'm like, sounds weird, but okay. There's too many questions in there.
Well, you know, like there was an interview I saw with Richard Hoagland years ago, and he was 19 when all this stuff happened, and he was there with Walter Cronkite, and something he said about the moon landing was strange. He said before the men had even landed on the moon, in this press conference area where they were, somebody had gone in and put papers on every seat, and what was written on the paper was, did we really go to the moon? And that was strange when he said that. Like NASA itself put out the narrative that maybe they didn't go.
Well, they've got one of the astronauts got a star there at the you know, in the
I
Hollywood
think I saw
Square.
that.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong got a star in the Hollywood sidewalk. So I don't know.
Yeah,
must have been a good movie, huh?
Yes, actually.
And you know, like one of the reasons why they put out this narrative that maybe we didn't go was there were so many people working in NASA and with the contractors and everything. There's no way that the CIA could stop any intelligence leaks or photographs, because there's people that their whole job in NASA is just airbrushing photographs, airbrushing stuff out of it. And there's no way that they could stop all those leaks. So what they did was put that narrative out there as a doubt in everybody's mind, so that if things did leak out, they could blow it away by just saying, oh, that's just all part of that we didn't even go thing. It's a hoax, you know. That was their way for dealing with pictures that they couldn't control, people talking that they couldn't stop thousands of people from talking about stuff or what they'd seen. Yeah. And really, when you think about it, it's just an ingenious plan. You just put out a narrative that doubts the whole thing, and then that's going to cover any leaks that may get out.
Yeah, with just enough truth to make people trust you and think you're trying to tell the truth. That's the same thing that happens with these large groups in any kind of area, from protecting children to cancer to, they put out just enough to make you think they're helping, but they're really shady behind the scenes.
And it's the same thing happens in the Bigfoot community for sure. You got a guy running around out there with a monkey suit on, and everybody starts thinking, oh, that's just garbage. You know?
Yeah. We have a text that just came in from one of the homeowners in over there where the plane crop dusted, saying that overnight the pear trees empty. That it was, she was going to go out there and pick them today, and they're all gone. She says maybe raccoons.
Or Bigfoot, eh?
Yeah.
No, those Bigfoots also,
She said maybe raccoons. We're not the whole tree. No way.
Yeah, and the Bigfoots, they do watch for the harvest time.
Yeah.
And if they know that you're out there checking on your oranges or
They'll
apples,
snatch 'em.
they'll get them that night before.
Yeah.
Or they'll take bites, small bites of the corn or whatever, so you just leave it there.
Yeah, we know someone who would sit on the porch roof and the tree was next to the porch, and the Bigfoots would sit on the porch roof and clean the trees.
Yeah.
So, but
They usually put one orange on your porch. They'll take a whole bunch and they'll leave you a squash. You know, that's how they roll. They're real nice that way. They'll take. I've heard of people. They go out there and their crop would be missing, but they'll leave a squash. They'll leave you one squash.
Leaving the Bigfoot. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying don't leave anything on your porch.
Yeah.
And don't take anything from him. He's grinning. I just want to make sure
No,
they
I'm
know
just
you're
saying,
playing.
Bigfoot's great. You know,
kick it off the porch.
They have a real sense of balance. Fairness.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We've got several phone calls to make, people we want to check on, and we'll get a hold of the rest of y'all. Who would close us in prayer today? I don't see Linda in here.
Yeah, she's there.
She's still there. You are. Okay, Linda, I'm sorry. I couldn't see. Those black boxes all look the same to me.
Don't forget, tomorrow we have a stream on dreams tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be helpful for a lot of people.
What time is that going to be, Jerry?
5:30 p.m. Central Time Zone.
Okay.
And it's not dream interpretation, but and we've gone over dreams before, but how to tell when they're from God or from the enemy. So Linda, would you please close this in prayer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Father God, and once again, we come in the name of Yeshua, Jesus, and we thank you for the gathering today of the family. And we thank you that you have enlightened so many of us, that we share our stories and that we have something in common, which begins with you and your son. And we thank you that you have us protected and you have us in the secret place of the Most High. We thank you that you're revealing more and more so that we can help other people, just like everyone on the team that helps and shares the stories and increases the knowledge, hopefully, of everyone that we meet. And we thank you for protecting our family and for loving us, for guiding us, and for providing everything that we need, especially the love and protection that only you can give us. And we ask that you be with us until we meet again, and you will guide us with some new stories and new enlightenment in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Thank you. I do want to say a special prayer for you and Jerry, that the channel will grow and that we'll be able to reach more and more people for the time that's coming, because it is so multifaceted, so many things that are coming that it's going to hit us all at once, and we're not going to be able to understand what's happening. And but fear not, I am with you, is what he said to us. Fear not, I am with you always. So that's one thing that we can grab onto as the whole world is in chaos. And like they say, that men will faint and commit suicide because of what has unraveled. And they haven't been given their marching orders, but we don't know when. But I think that he is preparing us for that day. And Mary, I pray for everyone that's sick too. I forgot that. Everyone that needs healing, I call him the Yahweh Rapha, for he is the healer of our bodies. He's the creator and the healer of our bodies. And in Jesus' name, I ask for everyone that needs healing. But I pray special protection over Mary and the things that she's seen in the garden and the pictures. And I pray a special protection, Father God, and even the assistance of our elder brothers, the angels that you have already assigned to her, and also your hand, because she can always call on the name of Jesus and he will be right there. But our elder brothers are pretty good in protecting us as well, and we thank you for it. Amen.
Amen. And Henry,
thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Junior Wolf, not sure. I think he's just been unable to with the time, but Junior, when you see this, we're thinking of you too and hope you get back to the meetings pretty soon.
Yes.
We love y'all.
I got one.
Go ahead.
I just got one last thing. There's a PDF, and it's about it blows evolution up, and it's really hard to find anymore. But if you go to evolutionfacts.com, and then you go to free downloads, it's called it's the top one. It's called the Evolution Cruncher PDF. It's about a 500-page PDF, but you will love it. It talks about like granite scientifically has to be formed within like minutes. You can't make it. So again, that's evolutionfacts.com. If you're looking for some good reading material, you will love the proofs. It's a really good. It's got a lot of good information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they removed the link. I shared it on Facebook, and they removed it just to show you what kind of information it is. It's good.
Okay.
Wow.
Scarborough Sasquatch, the Frankenstein reference. I'm going to send you a message and a link to a lady that's got a really amazing theory about the Frankenstein, but we'll do that another time. So we're going to get off here and go do some things that we need to do, make some calls. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
We love you.
Love you too.
Everyone in the chat.
We all love each other.
Darcy's always in the background somewhere. You always hear her.
Yeah, have a great day.
We'll talk to y'all soon, Warriors.
Yeah, see ya.
Thank you. Thank you.
You working?
I don't know if we're froze or not.